So for week 1 of CTS 1050 Introduction to Computers, you will need to have a version of Microsoft Word. And as said in the earlier introduction video, you can also use OpenOffice as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at Microsoft Word, and let's just make sure that you have an understanding of what this is about. Now, depending on your version, it may look different. Of course, if you're using the 365 version, it does look completely different. Also, on a Mac, it also looks different. I am using a Windows platform at the present time. All right, so I don't know about you, but I find playing with software to be fun because I like to try and figure things out. I think if you work with software enough that you sort of get a feel for basic things about it, okay? So up here at the top in Microsoft, this is called the ribbon, okay? And the content on this ribbon changes based on the tab that you have selected. So right now, I have the Home tab selected. The reason why I know it's forward of, even though file, this is where we save and stuff, so it's highlighted, but Home tab is forward and everything else looks back. So if I click on Insert, that tab comes forward and everything on the ribbon changes. Anytime you start with a new program, go ahead and click around. You're not going to break it. So you're not going to learn it unless you're willing to have the courage to look at what's in here. So you have insert and page layout, reference, mailings, and there is so much that you can do with this set of software. And all we're going to do is just give you the basics. There are tons of video on YouTube in terms of how to do certain things. I mean, at this day and age, there is so much resources available for us for learning, right? The book actually goes through, explains it as well. So take a look at the book, but I just wanted to go ahead and let you know. So let's go back to the home page. So when you open it up, it automatically has a file created. If for some reason your version does not, it may open up, it may just say open, it may just say you have to create one, or say new, and you go blank document and you say create. Mine happened to come up with already came up with a file. I don't know which version you're working with, okay? So if we look at where the blinking cursor is, that is where then we can type our text. Now, we can, up here, right now, the font choice is Calibri, but we can go ahead and change it. Now, if we highlight it, so if I go ahead and take my mouse and drag as I'm holding down the key, drag it across, it's highlighted, and I can then go up here and change it to say Arial. Okay, now it's Arial. Let's do handwriting. Okay, and then I can change the size. Now, so 72, just for your reference, is 1 inch. Okay, 72 pixels is 1 inch. So that's 1 inch. When you print it, it would be 1 inch in height. But let's just say, when you're writing something, you typically want 10 to 12. That is what copy text is in a book. It's 10 or 12 points, okay? So 72 points, I got pixels, I was wrong. I'm getting my graphic design terms wrong. 72 points equals 1 inch. And if you're actually writing something, it's usually 10, 11, or 12 is usually what you see. Okay, so we'll leave it at 12. Of course, I can also change it's still highlighted, so I could change it to red. If I want to change the font to red, I can do that as well. So that's how we can control our font. Now, there's also bold, there's italicized, there's underlined. Now notice that they're still there. We can take them off if we want. But so that's that. So let's just say, looks like I have it still italicized. Oh, it's probably the font that I chose. Let me pick a better font. Times New Roman. Okay, so there's my font, 12 point, and we can do all caps. Don't recommend it, people. But you can highlight. This is highlighting. We can fill also. But this is also for writing paragraphs. We can align the text to the left, but if we want the text to the right, it can go to the other end. But remember, we read left to right, so it's logical for the text to start on the left and then go to the right. Of course, we can also center, and be careful about when you center. Center is used mainly for like invitations and things like that. It's not really appropriate from a design perspective. The reason why I say this is because my background is in design, okay? All right, so we can indent through here. We can do a bulleted list. So I know that one of your first assignments is you're going to have to do, what are the rules for the discussion boards, right? And then you have to put a bulleted list. So if we go up here, the first one is a bulleted list. Of course, I could change it to a numbered list if I wanted, but that's bulleted, that's numbered. If I want it to go out, I just click here. If I want it to go in, I click here, right? Again, you got to play with it. There's nothing you're going to do to break it. There's no way you're going to break it, okay? So we can sit there, and I'm going to put a bulleted list, and then we can go down and, so we can say, let's do that bulleted list, and you have to respond. You have to respond to 2 of your peers' posts, okay, etc., etc. And we can go through there and put those down, and it just went to review. That's because I hit something on my keyboard. And then so if we wanted to insert an image, so we go to, insert. We want to put an image in the document. We're going to click on insert, and we're going to go picture. And we're going to put this picture in here. So there's the picture. And if I want to make sure that it doesn't get, I'm going to just drag always, when you're rescaling a picture, drag from the corner. Don't do this, because then you're changing how the image looks. That is not how the image was intended to look. So you always go from the corner. Go always from the corner that it always is perfect, okay? So there's an image. Okay, so there we have an image, and at some point it's going to say we need to do a header. You need to work with a header and footer. So what you do is you go above, and you come up here and you say header, and you type in here. And then you click away, you double click away from it, and notice it's now grayed. Now every page that you have, anything you put in that header area is going to show up in the next page. Likewise for the footer, just double click at the footer. There's the footer. And then go to the body, double click it, and it goes away. So all I can say is you've got to play with this. You have to be willing to just sort of explore and see what you can do with this. Now you can do page layout. We can do our orientation, portrait, which is vertical, or landscape, which is horizontal. You can play with your margins, 1 inch, half an inch. So to see how that just shifted. So this is a little bit more advanced. You're going to primarily be working with your this page and with your home page. But again, play with it. Play with it. Play with it. Now, there's also templates in here too. So when you say file new, and you can get a whole bunch of templates. If you're hooked up to the internet, you can also go online, and they also have additional templates in there too. So you're going to want to, look through that as well, because they have different, flyers and things like this. But you can create these also by yourself in here too. But a lot of things are done. Sometimes I say, why reinvent the wheel when the wheel's been invented already, right? All right, so right, this is the ribbon. So there's a lot of potential here in terms of what you can do with this with this software. You just need to take the time to play with it. And like I said, lots of resources out on the internet. I just wanted to give you a quick little overview just so that you didn't have any fears about this. Now, if you're working with OpenOffice, it's going to be sort of the same. So you just sort of have to hunt and peck. Like I said, you've got to be willing to explore. It's right there if you're willing to learn. Okay, guys? All right. So there you go. This is the overview for Microsoft Word. All right. Good luck.